Hi, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 50th episode of Let's Talk About Market. So, the Nifty index was hovering around the 26,000 mark in the morning, and after that, we have seen some profit booking. But, what is it that lie ahead? I mean, that is what we would want to talk about more. And are there any signs of exhaustion that is visible? I mean, those are all the talking points that we would, be discussing today. Also, today is the FNA expiry, so how to view it and how to do some interpretation. I mean, that's what we'll try and discuss today a bit. So let me quickly share my screen. Okay, please let me know once it's visible, and and if you all are able to hear me properly, then please comment in the chat box so that we can get started. Uh, can someone please comment in the chat box if they are able to see my screen properly and if they are able to hear me? Yeah, okay. Thanks, Ajay. Yeah. Coming to the Nifty index, basically, it had taken support at the 40-hour exponential average, and from there it has bounced back. But today it is giving up the gains. So what lie ahead, right? So over here, I would think that ideally the 40-hour should hold and the Nifty index should inch higher. If at all the 40-hour breaks, then maybe we end up forming some kind of flag pattern. That is what the expectation would be. It is not that the Nifty index will correct big time. I mean, that is not what I'm working with, frankly. So at this point of time, as I mentioned, the 40-hour exponential average, which is somewhere around 25,810, that will be an important support level. If that breaks on the downside, then we are looking at a flag pattern over here. And if I have to take the worst case scenario, which will be the lower end of the flag pattern, that will be somewhere around 25,680 or so. So broadly somewhere around this low is where the important support level will be in case the 40-hour breaks on the downside. So that is the initial thought right now. And with that, you will have to look at how the RMI behaves and when does it pick up. The couple of positive things that have started to happen, and I think this will happen more as we go ahead, is that the Nifty small cap index, that has started to outperform a bit. So you will notice that the Nifty index has not broken the 2-day prior high, but the small cap index has broken. So we are starting to see some bit of participation from the small cap as well. Even if you see mid cap index, it has broken above the previous high, while today it has given up a bit, but nevertheless they have started to outperform a bit. So these early signs of outperformance is good. So let's see how things unfold, because when you see Nifty small cap over here, we had discussed about this, that the this broader trend line is broken, and now I think it should consolidate and then rise higher. We had seen some pullback and then it had gone up. So I think this journey on the upward trend should continue. That is what, frankly, the expectation will be. And then I was looking at some sectors on RRG, which, where, uh, where we can see strength. So one was infrastructure that we spoke about yesterday. Okay. The other one are, I mean, there are many indices now which are into the lagging. So this I'm talking on the daily time frame. Okay, daily RRG. So a lot of them went through the sideways consolidation or correction, you can say, and from there, now we are starting to see a bit of a turnaround in momentum. So I think when many or most of the indices start showing this kind of trend, that's where I think we might end up seeing a positive momentum only going forward. So that is what the expectation is. And then I was looking at the options data. So today being the expiry, uh, in the morning, actually 25,800 to 25,900 to 26,000 was the range that was shown. But now, given that the Nifty has broken and sustained, and it is sustaining below 25,900, it has shifted to 25,800. So yeah, I mean, this seems to be the range now, 25,900 to 25,800 at this point of time. But as I mentioned, so over here also, if we see the levels for the Nifty, so we always have to look at it. At least what I do is that I also look at it from perspective of what the price action is also telling, and not just rely on the options data. So over here, we can see that the 40 hour exponential average is at 25,809. So then, I would imagine that if at all the correction happens towards this 25,800, 810 sort of levels, then this should act as an important support, and from there, hopefully, we get a turnaround. And the other thing that I was watching was that, because today is expiry, so I just wanted to see, how is the rollover position and so on for the Nifty index. And what I saw was that, so far the rollover is not actually that great, because if you see over here, it is almost around 58, 59%, as against, there is like 75, 80% rollover. So need to see, of course, how the day ends, and how people take the position. But the early thoughts are that, the rollover is not that great so far. But yeah, I mean, and we know that, there is a lot of short positioning among the market participants. So that's where, if you see the short position, that is still very high. In fact, yesterday when the market inched higher, I mean, FIIs added minor short positions. Okay, they did not cover, but they added minor short position. So that is interesting to see. I mean, basically, we would want to see that how are they positioned once this expiry ends. I mean, are they still carrying forward their shorts, or are they cutting it off? I mean, that will be very interesting to see this expiry, and that is where my eye will be. This expiry, to see how are they positioned, because as I've told many times in the past, the expectation is that this time around, this short covering rally which has taken place, I mean, we might end up getting, I mean, I won't be surprised if we end up getting FI's long position to the extent of 40, 50,000 or 60,000. That's where the other end of the extreme lies. So I mean, while doing that, in that process, my idea, I mean, my thinking is that we should be headed higher, probably towards 27, 28,000, as this short covering rally unfolds. And that's where, then we will have a look how things are. So far, things are going on in a slow and a steady pace, and there are no signs of reversal visible yet. The only thing that, what I would also expect is that the breadth should start picking up. In the past couple of days, we have seen some pickup, but need to see that more. And maybe, when the breadth starts steadily rising higher, that's where the impact on the portfolios will also be seen. I mean, so far there has been some uptick, but not to a greater extent, to think that, the mood is positive in general. I mean, that is not the feeling yet, because still the stocks are lagging a bit. But as I had mentioned earlier as well, as the up move progress, I think the small and mid caps should start outperforming, and once they start doing that, that's where, a bit more bullishness can be felt. Right now, the bullishness is only there in the large caps, because the Nifty index is doing well. But I think slowly and steadily it should rub off. And as I have mentioned, I mean, watching their positioning after the expiry would be very, very important. And I think I mean, many people had also requested for rollover analysis, like how do we do. So that's where we'll be doing a webinar on Saturday on rollover analysis. The post will be put out shortly, I think today or tomorrow. Y'all can enroll yourself for that, and to know, how to read the data and how to understand the positioning of the market participants in that stock. It will surely help you to get some perspective. And also, this technique is more from a short to medium term view. It is not useful, frankly, for the intraday traders and so on. So just clarifying it so that it becomes worth for you to attend that, if at all it matches your style. But I have found it that it is extremely helpful from short to medium term perspective. And more so, sometimes you can even end up picking up long term trends when the short positions are, like an extreme level. So so that's where I think, you will find these kind of webinar very helpful. So it is not necessarily only for the futures trader, but any person who has a little bit of view of medium term, like say 2 to 3 months and so on. I mean, that's where I think they can find this helpful, and it will help them to make a good positional view also. So there will be a webinar that we will be doing on Saturday. So do enroll for that. And as I mentioned, we will put out a post in a day or two. So do get yourself registered for the same. Okay. Coming back to the market. As we see over here also, the swing average swing data, they are all in the middle, and they are not at an extreme level as such. I would think that maybe some bit of up and down, and eventually they rise higher towards the upper end of its range. And that's where in the short term, you might think that, okay, is there a bit of a correction or a consolidation left? But yeah, that's about it. But as I had mentioned earlier as well, the expectation will be that the Nifty index should steadily inch higher. The all-time high is at 26,277. I think once that breaks and sustains on the upside, we are looking at the upside levels of somewhere around 28,000 or so. And that, if you see the previous episodes as well, I have given the reason why that. That's just to highlight it. Whenever the FI's positions are at an extreme, we usually end up getting 15 to 18% kind of move. And when you translate that from the lower end of the range, when you calculate from the lower end of the range, it comes to around those 28-29,000 kind of level on the upside. So those are all the watching points. Today, if you see, the market is more or less dull, not doing that great. Uh, and and it is almost like sort of dead, because we are not seeing any move. All of them, if you see, 0.2, 0.3%. The only index that seems to be doing well is metal. And I think we had spoken about this, right? That there was this consolidation happening in metal. After that, it has seen an up move. And I have already mentioned to you that there is another index, which is Nifty PSE index, which is sort of consolidating. Okay, over here also we are seeing a very good consolidation. A breakout from this range should lead to some good trending move. Basically, what we are seeing is rotation amongst the index, and this is something that we spoke about, right? That there will be some index somewhere, which would be moving, and that is where it will be a lot more prudent to hold your positions and be a little patient, because markets will be like this. I mean, you will see a breakout, and then you will wonder why is the follow through not happening. But this is what is happening in the market. It might break out, and you might feel that it will run away, but again it will consolidate for a while, and after that it will steadily inch higher. And this is happening time and again across all the sectors and indices. So broadly, that is it. And as I had mentioned earlier as well, since the positional view is bullish, at each point of time you will end up seeing some sectors or stocks giving those bullish crossovers or breaking above the previous high. So you can go towards so you can go to the RMI scanner. So over here I'm putting the Nifty 500 as the index. I think, yeah, it's over here. And just try to analyze every day, if at all I am getting any good opportunities or no. So that is what the work will be at this point of time, because right now the markets are not trending. So this is a good time for you to go back on the desk, and then try to see where is it that we are getting good setups. I think those are the ones to focus on for the short to medium term, because as you know that once the RMI gives a bullish crossover, it can last for 2 to 3 weeks. So try to find out some good setups while the market is not doing anything, and prepare your watch list, so that when the market momentum turns, that's where you are prepared, and you are ready to take positions in good stocks, basically that matches your style. So as I had mentioned earlier also, there are many ways in which you can scan it. So it is through RMI scanner, or you can see Dow Trend scanner, or you can see technical scanners. Okay, the prices that are crossing above 100, 200, and so on. Like I have put over here. So let me put all the stocks, and then crossing above say 200. So now I have so many list of stocks, right? So I can just go over here and see which are the ones that I am liking it. And you can simply make a watch list of that, so that will help you to that will basically help you to keep those stocks on your radar, and you can watch it every day, and you can of course put it on any scanners, and you will be able to get the results very quickly. Like say for example, if I have so few days back only, on 16th of October, we had maintained a list of outperforming stocks, right? So over here there are many stocks that are giving buy signals over here, right? So that way you can also make your own watch list and see if there are any interesting setups that are emerging. Okay, so for that, go to the heat maps, or any of the you know or any of the features which suits your style. Go over there, make a list of stocks which you find it interesting, and then you can simply scan on those watch lists. So that will make your life very easy, and it will help you to also find the stocks where the momentum is. So that's it from my side. Basically, the markets are also flat, so there is not much to discuss. Probably today, once the expiry ends, and if there are any interesting data points to discuss, maybe we'll try and discuss that. So yeah, if y'all have any questions, do let me know. We I will try my best to resolve it. So be it for features or any problem if you're facing, or any conceptual thing that you want to know, you can just let me know. I'll try to address it. I'll wait for a couple of minutes for you to post the question if you'll have any. If not, then we'll probably end the stream, and we'll meet later then. Any questions you'll have? Okay. I'll wait for yes, Seti, please let me know what the question is. In Dow Trend Scanner, is it possible to have a chart like an RMI scanner? So, Kalu, at this point of time, we don't have it. See, actually, the reason why we had put that line chart specifically was because many people would then question that why is it coming into higher high, because in a candlestick the high might not be broken, but they might be above the previous close. So that's why we had done that. And yeah, I mean, I understand your issue. At this point of time, we don't have it. Need to think, because see what happens is that when we give the liberty to do anything, okay, people will keep putting tickets, because they might not know how to do it, and then it kind of chokes our bandwidth as well. So that is why we had kept it separate. Let us see what we can do about it, and if there is any way how we can simplify it. Okay. In RMI scanner, what's the best option to see? It's live or last candle. So NCT, it totally depends on what you want to do. So say for example, if you have missed the signals yesterday, and say you are on your desk at 9:20 and you want to know which were the stocks that had given a bullish crossover yesterday. Okay, I mean after yesterday's close. So at that point of time, you will do last close. But if you want, if say you are at 11 o'clock and you want to see which are the stocks which are giving bullish crossover today, and you want to trade on them, then you might want to click on live and see what is it. So last close is nothing, but it helps you to give the list of the bullish crossover that had happened last week. Or in case of hourly, it's the last candle means, so say for example, 10:15 to 11:15 is one candle, and right now we are at 11:30. So last close will give a bullish crossover on the 10:15 to 11:15 wala candle. So that is the utility of last close. So you can figure out what works best for you, so that way you can choose the option of last close and live, right? I hope that resolves your query, NCT. Sagar, yes sir. Say about Hall, what to do of that stock? I bought at 1900, that it went and again came down to 1300. Uh, See, Sagar, I don't want to recommend, but it will again go back to what we are doing all this time. Now, I am assuming that you are asking from a long-term perspective. So over there, I would want to check the weekly and the monthly chart. How are they, right? So in the weekly, it is trading above 20-40 week, which is a good sign. Now over here, there is a risk of a bearish crossover, but we are seeing this averages hold. So it looks okay. I mean, so of course, as you mentioned, that there is this consolidation that is going on. So need to see where this consolidation breaks. And on the monthly chart, if you see, so if you see the monthly chart, it is all good because it has been holding above the averages and rising higher. And so far also in previous month, it had taken support of the 20 month and it is rising higher, right? So now, as I mentioned, I mean, it all depends on your risk appetite, and how long you want to hold and what is the reversal level that you want to keep. But we have discussed enough about how to trail, how to keep the stop losses, and so what I generally see is 20-40 and RMI. Okay, and if the RMI has given a bearish crossover, then I would see if the stock is trading above the averages or no. If it is trading below the averages and there is a crossover, then there is a problem. If there is a crossover that has happened but the prices are above the averages, which is say like this is the case, then I will have to judge what is happening on the lower time frame and then see what to do about it. So for me, for example, the 61.8% retracement of the rise will be the last level, where I would give up the hopes, because any retracement that happens more than 61.8%, that sort of makes the trend weak, right? So then I will have, I mean, if at all it is at 61.8% retracement or it is breaking below that, then I'll see how the market conditions are, whether is it worth holding for a day or two and see if it is turning around or no, or should I exit? I mean, those are the calls that I will have to take while I am watching the market and how is it unfolding at that point of time. But somewhere, you will have to uh, have that strategy also to exit, and that exit strategy will depend on how much, you know like how much you are okay giving up. Because if you put the reversal levels on daily chart, it will throw you out quickly, right? If you put it on weekly or monthly, there is a good chance that those reversal levels might not be broken and the stock may continue to rise higher. So it totally depends on how much you are able to bear it and how much you are okay giving it back, if at all those reversal happens. Because in weekly and monthly, you know that the reversal levels that you might need to keep will be a lot more bigger. So I mean, it totally depends on your risk appetite and how you are viewing market. So I'm sorry, I mean, that this might be a diplomatic answer, but the frankly, there is no straight way of answering this, because it all depends on people's risk appetite and how are they viewing the market. So yeah, I think we don't have questions anymore. I'll still wait for a minute. If we don't have any questions, then we can end the session for today. Yeah, thanks, Sagar. I'll wait for a few more seconds to see if there are any questions. Mahesh, is there any chance of PCR chart? I think yes, I had mentioned it last time. I think you had only asked. So in options, there is an option PCR chart. So there you should be able to. I mean, you can select whichever symbol you want. There are four options that are there. One is OIPCR, which is in green, the 10 SMA. So this is the smoothened version of OIPCR, which is this red line. So let me just click one by one. This green line is the OIPCR. If I untick this and if I click 10 SMA OIPCR, then this is the smoother version of OIPCR. Then this is volume PCR, which is erratic. And if you want a smoothened version of volume PCR, then this is the volume PCR, right? So we do have it over here. So all you need to do is that go to options, hover over here, and go to options PCR. Can we combine it with sentiment indicators? So for Nifty, that will work because sentiment indicators will work on the Nifty stocks, right? Uh, Sentiment indicator is not for sector specific, like say IT and all those things, because we are looking at the broader market, right? Please understand, sentiment indicators nothing is, but it's the market mood. I mean, it is the mood of the overall market that we try and understand. So, if you pick up indices, yeah, for Nifty, only for Nifty, yes, of course, you can combine it. But that's where, yeah, I mean, you can do that. So, you can look at OIPCR and you can do that as well, Mahesh. But yeah, as I mentioned, it will work for the broad markets, but not for specific indices, where the concentration is very high on few stocks. Mohan, can we consider IT stocks as a contra bet according to chart? So, Mohan, I don't know if you have attended the earlier sessions or no, but I have mentioned this many times that all the IT stocks, if you go in the futures and futures section, there has been a huge short that has been built up in past 2, 3, 4 months, and they have been holding the short positions. Okay, so typically it leads to a meaningful reversal on the upside. Once this short starts cutting, And I feel that yes, it's a very good possibility that we end up seeing that, because if you see the chart of Nifty IT, and I had done the monthly analysis and so on for Nifty IT. So if you see the monthly chart, it has been holding above the monthly 40-month average and trying to bounce back. This month we have again seen the same thing. More importantly, there was this breakdown which had happened, and after that quickly the IT index rose higher above that. Now this indicates that this was possibly a false breakdown, and from there a turnaround has happened. So when I look at multiple things, it does look like that the worst could be over for IT. All we now need is IT to break and sustain above the 40-week average, from where it has been faltering since the decline has happened. So that is what I would like to see. Once it starts sustaining above this 40-week average and it starts trading above that, I would think that, I would imagine that a lot of shorts that have been built up, they will be scared, and we might end up seeing short covering. So I do think that it's a good contra bet that is there. The only thing that we now need to see is that, because if you see on the daily chart, it has started to sustain above the averages, right? Now you would want the same thing to happen on the weekly chart, and once that happens, in general the mood might become positive for people. And also if you look at RRG, okay, and if you see the weekly chart of RRG, over there also Nifty IT is making interesting patterns. So just to give you the context, this is okay. So this week actually it has gone down. Now, of course, the week has not ended, so need to see uh, the how the weekly RRG plays out. But if you see over here, it had been seeing a good rising momentum. So what we would need to see is a bit more momentum picking up, and of course we need to see how this week's RRG play out. But in general, I am also very hopeful that we should see this turnaround, because see, over here this momentum, I mean IT was losing momentum, and after that it has started to see some uptick, as you can see in the past few weeks. So I would imagine that eventually it should get to this leading quadrant, and that's where people will feel that now finally the IT stocks are doing well. But if you see the monthly setups and so on, it is indicating that we should see some good times. So let's see how it goes. Is it possible to have a back button from chart, say scanners to heat map? The problem today is that if many charts are open, then we repeatedly have to press the left scroll to get back to heat map. So, GP Kalu, I understand your problem, but we had made it in a way that it would be EXE. Okay, so over here maybe you can do back, and on the browser level it might help. But if you click on that install button, so right now we have disabled the EXE, but if you go to EXE, there won't be any back button, right? So that's why we have given tabs over here. Just like the way you have tabs in Windows, we have given tabs over here. Now, say if you want to come back to scanner, if you have opened too many things, and you want to get back, you just simply need to click over here and click the tab that you had already opened in the past, right? If I do Nifty 50, it will get me back to Nifty 50 very quickly. So that is the whole idea. I mean, rather than going back, imagine that if you want to open something which was maybe 5 clicks prior, so you might not want to do back, right? All you can do is that search over here. Next to all there is a drop down. Click over here, search what tab you had already opened and where you want to go back. It will throw you back over there. Okay, so I think that will help you to get back easily over there. But on a browser level the back is working, but not on the system level, because I mean, you see any of the softwares, when you have that EXE version, they don't have back. I hope you understand, GP. But you should be able to search it. Um, uh, that should fasten your process, I think, and it should not be a problem. Uh, Sir, in India Charts mentorship program, there is learning about stock trading because I want to trade and learn about stock market trading, index trading are two worst. Uh, yeah, I mean, of course, see, in India Charts mentorship program, we focus a lot more on elite wave, which is, of course, not that we do in these live session, because over here, elite wave helps you to get the broader picture and where is it moving. And what we try and do is that we use this sentiment indicators as an additional overlay to confirm our view. So, of course, I mean, in stocks, then you have the RMI plus elite wave. That is how we also try and teach in the mentorship program. So, see, if you want, I mean, if you have any doubts or if you want to have a word, just go to the India Charts website. On this mentorship program, you can click on the inquiry button over there. Once you can fill up the details, and someone from our team will call you and explain you in detail the process, and then you can just see if that matches the way you think about it. So I would just recommend you to have a word once with the sales representative. They will explain you how do we go about it in the program. Okay. But yeah, as I mentioned, the major focus over there is elite wave. It is not the normal technicals that we uh, do usually. So, so fine, guys. I think it's 11:36. Let's wind up the session for today, and let's see more importantly how the expiry plays out, and how the FIs are positioned post the expiry. That should help us get some clue of where the market should be headed, or what is the mood of the participant, and what could be the likely path. So once again, thanks for joining, and let's catch up tomorrow. So I'm not sure basically if I'm there tomorrow or no, but if I'm not there tomorrow, then probably on Thursday we'll discuss about these things. Okay, but in a day or two, as I mentioned, there will be a post for webinar for the rollover analysis. So do join us for that on Saturday. Okay. So once again, thanks a lot for joining, and let's catch up. Maybe tomorrow or on Thursday around the same time at 11 a.m. Thank you.